In a shocking turn of events, we are continuing our Germany campaign in Wiki 3. Make sure you watch the first one, link in description if you haven't watched it yet. And use my link if you like to get the new DLC for yourself. And don't forget, there's also a free-to-play couple of days left until the 23rd of June. Take advantage of it! To put things into perspective, it is 1866. We're doing pretty darn good, both from standard of living and GDP perspective, and even from population perspective. And we just started snowballing. Now, there has been a release day patch, which has screwed up some things in my save game. So bear with me, some things are going to be a little bit more different. And I am continuing this after the game has already come out, because my PC died about a week ago, and I could only get up until 1866 before I had to replace my CPU, which is why I didn't do the whole Germany run in one video. I kind of wanted to do in one video, but now it's going to be in 2 videos, just because I want to show you guys how strong monopolies are and how getting a hold of the world market and how making sure we supply most of the goods on the world market will make us ridiculously rich. So one more thing to point out now, guys, is that I did say in the previous video something that was not correct. Namely, I said that there's shortages of dyes and clothes. It's actually opposite. So it shows the amount of clothes imported and the amount exported. So the surplus is actually shown as a minus here. I hope that makes sense. In essence, there's way too much sugar in the world market right now and very, very little clothes, fish, engines, and paper. That's what this basically means. In our own market, we have massive shortages of glass, coal, clothes again, a little bit of lead, a little bit of explosives and fabric. So we're going to try and fix these particular shortages first and foremost, with coal, glass, and clothes being a little bit of a priority for me. We have 26 coal mines queued up. That should fix up that particular issue. Textile mills, we're going to get a few more here. Make sure we build them in our country. We can do the ones in other countries afterwards, but for now we need to have a little bit of our own particular production of clothes. Well, look at that, boys. The AI is significantly more aggressive than it was in previous patches, and as such, it actually does attack its neighbors now a lot more. Also, our standard of living is absolutely skyrocketing right now. Our upper strata is up to 44.8 standard of living, which is just crazy. One major change that has happened with the release patch, guys, is that in order to give monopolies for your companies, you will have to have already established the investment rights before you give the monopoly. So in our case, we have already a treaty with the Egyptians where we do have the investment right. We're going to give them embassy, we're going to give them independence guarantee, and they're going to be more than happy to accept our demands. But we're not going to stop only there. We're going to get more monopolies for the United Posen food producers as well. And for the German metal works, we're going to get the tooling workshops. Now, they got a 97% chance of accepting this, which is pretty much a guarantee that they will accept it. If we want to sweeten the deal, we could add a little bit of trade, say, I don't know how much, 300 of the tools and another 400-500 of the iron, and then there you go, 79, and an absolute guarantee that the Egyptians accept this deal. We probably want to give this a proper name, such as Tony Soprano's special friendship deal. There you go. That's literally exactly what happens in The Sopranos. Okay, we're just bullying people into giving us their stuff where they get basically nothing in return. That's the sum up of the entire situation. We also made another 29,000 from selling those tools and iron to the Egyptians, so double whammy, really. Oh, we got the franchising achievement now. Hails to the yeah. And we're attacking the Chileans. Unfortunately for us, they have a little bit of help from the British, so we're gonna need to get a few more units to defend against the British. We're not actually adding any war goals against Britain itself, just so we can quickly win the war by taking over Chilean lands and enforce. Jesus Christ, the British really brought the entirety of the British world to defend Chile, didn't they? All right, boys, it's Jover. We got another Pupeticus in the south tip of America, and we also gave back the claims of Patagonia to the Argentinians. So technically, Chile should stop colonizing Patagonia, which means we're gonna have slightly more prettier, more historical borders in South America now. Seeing as this war was a bit tougher than I expected it to be, I'm gonna have to reorganize my armies too. So I'm gonna have 3 main assault armies, which are gonna be proper armies, and I'm gonna have 3 or 4 defensive armies for the main headquarters in Germany that we need to defend. And the defensive armies, I'm going to keep at 30 infantry. That's it for now. And we're going to change this up as well. We're going to set it by state. Going to set a nice big fort, and they're going to have the green color. So I know all the defensive armies are going to be green colored, and all the offensive armies are going to be red colored because, well, actually the offensive armies, we can have different colors just so we know based on the different front where we assign them to offend. I also love that despite being at war, we basically grew in our standard of living by a massive amount, and we also grew by GDP a lot as well whilst in that war with the British. Look at that. We literally went up by like 20 million during the war. I'm also going to take on the debt of Chile just to get the 30 relations increase with them. They only have 500,000 debt, which is basically nothing. I can handle that. Oh, and for the mere cost of 6 infamy, we can grab Lorenzo Marquez from the Portuguese too. There you go. They accepted my demands. 41% chance of that happening, which is pretty much a guarantee, let's face it. Let's go ahead and incorporate Vristadt too, because we haven't done that yet. And we've got Monsieur Karl Marx, the communist, in our nation. Now, what do we do with him? Do we imprison him? Do we exile him? Or do we grant him leadership? I don't know, man. I feel like this man might, he might be a bit of a nuisance, considering we're trying to stay as an actual monarchy and we're not going communist in this run, because we pretty much have gone communist in all my previous Germany runs. I don't want to do that again. If anything, we're going to go the opposite of communism this one, which is totally not fascism. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. All right, let's go ahead with the steel frame for all of our construction sectors. So we increase our construction sectors by 400 now. So our shortages are 4,150 glass, 2,000 steel, and then the rest of them as well. Holy schnitzel. We do have a bit of an ace up our sleeves though, the fact that we have not yet actually privatized anything. So, and we just got graduated taxation, which is huge. We could next go for compulsory primary education, which would mean that we could go for level 5 education. Hopefully that passes. It would fix a lot of our technological issues. Right now we're getting 183 innovation, and the rest spills into technology spread. So what we're going to do also is we're going to queue up some more good techs, such as pump jacks, threshing machines, philosophical pragmatism, and so on. Everything we need to both advance societally as well as economically. Now, some of you guys have asked, why did you not form Super Germany? Honestly, I did form Super Germany for my last 2 Germany runs, Prussia runs better yet, so I didn't want to do the same thing. I kind of just wanted like German Empire borders, and that's it, right? Aside from that, we just have subjects. We don't really have much stuff that we own outside of Germany. We're also going to make a colony in South Africa. We're not going to keep this as our own provinces. However, if you really want to form Super Germany, the easiest way would be to just attack a nation that the Austrians are rivaling with. So in our case, that would be, say, the Americans or the British. Start a diplomatic play against those, call them in, give them obligations or whatever that will return their attitude to conciliatory towards you, which will be enough for you to form Super Germany. So you can still form Super Germany in 3-4 years if you do that, and it's honestly not that difficult. Again, as with the previous event options for gold, we have the same here for oil. We have the choice of either individually for each event choose to go for migration attraction more or less, or we can choose for all future events to do the same option. So whenever this pops up, automatically it goes for that option, so it doesn't actually pop up anymore. Now here's a cool little thing that I like to do. Basically, we have an absolute buttload of German tools, right? So what we're doing is we're maximizing subventions for export. As such, all the trade centers are going to start exporting tools to other countries because they make a buttload of profit. So look at that. We went from 2.9 thousand to 3.3 to 3.5, and it's going to continue to go up massively, meaning we make insane amounts of exports of tools, which in turn means that once we bring this back down to 0, we're going to make a lot more money off of the tool exports that we managed to get along the way. We have to keep it on this for a while, however, because us having domination in the world market with tools will make other nations less likely to build up their tool industry and be more reliant on our tools, and then we slowly bring back to 0 tariffs, which in turn means that we make it less appealing for them to build their own industry more and more until we manage to stabilize ourselves as dominant in the market. I'm gonna do the same for all the goods that I have massive excesses of, such as steel and so on, just to get absolute massive capacity in the markets, and then we seize an opportunity, right? Guess you could say that giving subventions rather than tariffs really really doubles down on your economy in the long run. Oh, look at that. The Ottoman Empire, not only are they offering to buy some of our goods, they want trade privilege, investment rights, and they also want money transfer. I am okay with that, with the one small exception, okay? One very small exception. We want you to buy some more of our iron. There you go. Buy a little bit more. Buy like 500 more of our iron. Hey, that's a beautiful deal right there. I do have a secondary deal for you. I want the Silesian steel mills to have a monopoly in your country, Otto Bros. And I know you want to agree to this because, let's face it, there's no downside to it. Look at that. Of course you will agree to it, because why wouldn't you let us control all of your economy, right? You can trust Germany. Come on, guys. You can trust us. We are now officially 2 times richer than the second greatest power after us, the British. Oh, and I just realized we can also now build torpedo boats. So let's go ahead and build a massive fleet, shall we? Huzzah! Compulsory primary education, something that maybe America should get. So, no. Who said that? Nobody said nothing. What? Guys, I'm kidding. I know people in the US have education. Come on. Holy mother of God. Our GDP is growing at an alarming rate, let's just say. Honestly, I've watched a little bit of my old Super Germany run. I had about the same amount of GDP by 1870, and I don't have literally half of Europe. I only have a little bit, just the German parts. I'm missing all of Austria-Hungary here, or Austria. I love how the main concern of Siam is to conquer another one of their close-by neighbors, Johor. Instead of going for increasing their autonomy against us, they just flat out want to conquer Johor. They're literally warmongers. There's a good thing I'm making them into a puppet right here. I'm saving the world from these warmongers of Siam. And check it out, we're back up to 190 innovation now, boys. All my subjects also have very, very low liberty desire, so I'm gonna manually decrease the autonomy in Chile because I don't think anyone's gonna give much of a schnitzel about it. Right now, everyone is insanely dependent on my economy to survive. I mean, all of my subjects are, so I'm taking massive advantage of it. All right, there you go. Autonomy has been reduced, and now since we have him as a puppet, we can also attack Dai Viet. We actually have been pretty friendly with Dai Viet, but I'd rather just make sure that they are in my market and they don't get conquered by somebody else, because what I've seen from my test runs is that unless I conquer all these third world nations, the British or the French will if I don't later down the line. So I'd rather prevent that from happening. Also, the way that I've divided my armies is a little bit different than what I said earlier. So we have the 2 main armies here, which are not fully ready, but we'll work on it. Then we have the small 30 size for defense, and then we have the medium size 30, which is 20 infantry and 10 shrapnel for defense / smaller offensive battles. What I need to do though is make it 20-20 for these armies and make it 50-50 for these. So we're gonna need more shrapnel, a lot more actually. As always, the French or somebody else, one of the great powers, is gonna get involved in this. In this case, France wants a piece of me. Oh, they gave up. They joined because of obligations? You scumbag. France literally joined for the fun of it. Holy mother. France does not give a schnitzel about its population dying. It is absolutely confirmed. I would have expected them to want Alsace-Lorraine back or something, but no, they just don't give a shit. All right, we're gonna need to bring more units here because they actually are committing to this. 250 battalions to attack me in Alsace. Holy schnitzel. They just need to hold in here until we conquer Vietnam. That's it, which is pretty much done already. There you go. We also have an advantage, so they're definitely not gonna get through our lines. In fact, I think they've lost most of their manpower already. How many people died in this war so far? So we got we've got 186,000 dead, mostly French, and 371,000 mostly wounded, mostly French. Cost of war is pretty significant though. 3 million on both sides. Holy snaps. How's this particular front doing? Doing pretty good overall. Wait, Cambodia is actually free? No, it's a tributary of Vietnam. Oh, so I get Cambodia as well in this war. That is actually delicious. There you go. The French have capitulato. The Vietnamese have become our subject. Everything is back on track. Now hold on a second. Didn't I remove the claim of Chile? Why on earth is Chile still colonizing? Oh, it's because they were colonizing from before and they just never canceled the colony, then they. Yep. Well, that's unfortunate. It looks like we're gonna still have absolute border gore Chile and South America again. Finland sides with the Roman Republic. What? Hold on, boys. We have the Romans here? When the hell did that happen? So did the Papal States become the Roman Empire or Roman Republic and they have a little bit of revolt? I see. Okay. Well, in that case, we're also going to be good Catholics here and we're going to offer... Oh, they don't want to become my subjects. Damn it. I was going to make them a puppet if they became a subject, but too late. Don't work. The good old days of us making puppets from going on the side of the rebellion are definitely gone. How did this happen though? When did Spain lose against against the British, and the British got the entirety of the East Andalusia state, not only the little Gibraltar treaty port. That is the most disgusting thing I've seen in a while. Speaking of disgusting, we're gonna get a really disgusting alliance with Belgium, and we're gonna make sure they become the great nation they were always meant to be here. We're gonna give them all the furniture and everything else that they really need, because the real winner is actually us. Why are we winning? Because Friedrich Krupp will get monopoly on the iron mines in Belgium, which is in fact one of the major powers. It's not even a tiny boy, it's the 7 major power. They got 22 million GDP from these 2 freaking states, or 2.5 states. It is insane how powerful Belgium is. I love it, man. I genuinely was thinking that I probably should do another run as the Belgians. I had a lot of fun when I did the 2 states playing Toll Belgian, and I know it's going to be a lot more different in this patch. In fact, in this patch I plan on doing a Swiss one, because I haven't had any Swiss videos yet, and just basically stay bank. That's it. We're basically going to be trading between nations and using trade centers to get filthy rich. That's the whole plan right there. We're going to buy goods from one country, sell it to the other country as the Swiss. In fact, I want to do that as Singapore too. So you guys are going to probably see a little bit of Johor or some other nations like this. That's going to be quote unquote the Singapore of my particular game. Wait, what? 2 Sicilies somehow managed to get the 2 provinces from the Roman Republic? I don't know what happened there, but I kind of suspect it's because they had too many radicals and the Risorgimento fired, which meant that they got annexed by the 2 Sicilies. And because they were separated, they had a revolution. The other part, which didn't have enough radicals, didn't get the Risorgimento, so they stayed as the Roman Republic, just in the state of Lazio. We got 54 trade centers in Hanover, giving us a weekly balance of 42,000. Our reserves are starting to massively grow now since we are privatizing our industries, and I feel like maybe I should not privatize everything, because I don't want to reach our reserve cap, which is 54 million right now, and we're reaching it really fast. Like, holy schnitzel, look at that. Also, speaking of really fast, the British are really fast expanding everywhere, so I think I need to double down on my expansion too. Let's get some Arabian future oil areas. We also can start getting some colonies. Now, it does cost us a little bit to get some colonies in certain areas where we don't yet have a port, so we're gonna build a port in Namakuland for 100,000. Same here for all the other areas that we don't have an adjacent port in. We're gonna have to pay a little bit just to get that colony going. Again, this is a new thing from this particular patch. Time to also plan a chill naval invasion of Mara. For some reason in this patch I noticed the Yemeni states don't get guaranteed by the Russians as much as they did in previous patches, so it's kind of free real estate really. Back to old 1.4 meta, I guess. Well, 1.5 meta was it? Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. We need to get more construction sectors. It's actually getting freaking ridiculous. We're snowballing like absolute crazy. In fact, the problem is that we probably are going to need more population soon. We only have 800,000, so maybe after we pass Home Affairs, maybe we should go for no migration control. That possibly could help, but right now, as you would expect, only the industrialists would be okay with this, and they don't have much support, so perhaps it's time to also change our distribution of power. And there you go, we got our foothold in Yemen, so now it's time to attack the rest of Yemen. Franconia surprisingly has a lot of population. I'm assuming I haven't actually been building anything in Franconia. I just completely forgot that they exist, really. So let's get a bit of infrastructure and just spam the schnitzel out of the industries in here. How are we doing GDP wise? We got 311 million and the British have 136. So we're basically 3 times stronger than the British are right now economically. Yeah, it's also time that I stop privatizing stuff. I'm about to reach the reserve cap. That is really no bueno. And I know what some of you thinking. It means, Ludi, that you're not playing efficiently. You should be scaling more. You should have like 5,000 construction as consequence. Now, I know, okay? I know. I'm trying to also just chill here. I'm not trying to try hard. And I hate keeping track of all this stuff. I like to just make the world my color. I like to paint the map. Okay, that's why I'm playing Vicky 3. Nah, I'm kidding. I actually like it for multiple reasons. But yeah, I also don't like to super try hard. Let's start getting some of our tooling workshops down to machine tools. We don't really have much rubber, so I'm only slowly transitioning because I'm gonna need to start building up some of this rubber industry, not just domestic. We're gonna do this everybody, so we're gonna do it in all of our subject provinces here. Whoever has more pops is probably gonna be more beneficial to build in, isn't it? Wow, I wasn't even kidding when I said that. Literally nobody gives a schnitzel about this area anymore. Pretty much nobody is guaranteeing the Yemenis from what I'm noticing. Oh, Ooh, very interesting. The US has got genial relations with me. So maybe, just so maybe, I could make them my bestest of friends. Let's go with first off trade privilege. That would help out massively. And now let's see what kind of trade we could do between each other that would be mutually beneficial. So investment rights, we might actually be okay with both of us giving that out. Now goods, this is where it's really at, boys. This is where it's actually at. We're gonna be transferring a few goods here. The Americans need explosives. Well, color me surprised. They need a frack ton of coal as well, 1,800 coal, and that's about it. That's all the major stuff that they need. Maybe some meat. I'll give the Americans some of my meat. Which is why we're gonna call this treaty properly Sagandis. Get it? Because of the meat? Okay, they actually don't want to Sagandis. Well, screw you, America. What the hell happened with Texas? Why does Texas look so weird? And why is he getting attacked by the Americans so late in the campaign? How did they survive until now, man? I haven't looked in the New World this whole time, and I'm kind of shocked now that they still exist there. I also love the fact that the units do not automatically teleport back to the HQ. They actually have to physically get on the way to get there now. And you also see the little boats going and stuff. That's actually a really nice touch because it helps me so much when I'm basically just attacking everybody around the world. Okay, what are we gonna do here? We got way too much money. Are we gonna get more construction sectors? I freaking guess we will. Let's see. Population, we got a little bit in Württemberg, so let's max out the construction sectors there now. Oh my god, what the schnitzel is this? Diplomatic play in Senegal. The French are attacking the British together with the Spanish, the Americans, and everybody else. They want to liberate British Senegal, Sulu, humiliate Britain, liberate Cornwall and Ireland, transfer. Okay, hold on a second here, boys. Hold on a second. Can I join this? I really would like to, but we have bad relations with both the French and the British, so they're not gonna let. Oh, come on, man. I would have loved to be a part of this war. Well, if it isn't time for yet another company. Well, this time we're gonna go for the friends along the way. That's right. Bet you didn't know about that company in Vicky 3, did you now? I'm just kidding. We play Vicky 3. We have no friends. That word does not exist in our vocabulary. Just like not attacking South Africa doesn't exist. I've seen you bastards commenting, "Oh, Ludi attacking South Africa again. What a freaking surprise, bro." That's exactly how you sound in my mind, and I love you. Now, this is pretty cool, actually. The beer consolidation mines gives not only prestige and colony growth speed, which is huge, but also leverage generation. Ooh, that's actually a really cool one for a different playthrough, not for this one. And in case you're wondering, this is apricot. It looks weird because it's kind of green and very sour. I just picked it up from the ground around my house. I was walking the dog. There's an apricot tree that has apricots. Pretty delicious, although a little bit bitter because I picked it up a little bit early. Jesus, man, we can get pure opium. What does that even mean, man? Or enriched fertilizer. I guess that kind of makes sense though. Prime meat. This reminds me of Ark Survival Evolved, a game that I played for thousands of hours, and you'd get prime meat from like the big carnivores and stuff. I'm actually going to go, and this is a bit of a surprise, for the home good company Silesia, simply because this particular company will also have the ability to get logging camps and lead mines. I'm gonna need some charters for that. Only 30 infamy to make Persia a protectorate is literally a no-brain. Persia's like half the opium plantations and quite a lot of decent resources actually within this nation too. And they back down. Okay, I'll take it. Literally a free Persia. That's probably because of the massive world war that's happening. Nobody is helping them out, which means I could take advantage of this and I could attack other nations around the world without any of the great powers getting involved because they have their own little Schnitzeldorf of a war. And also, speaking of great powers, I kind of want to get some more treaties with the Russians. We literally could sell them 2,000 tools and 965 clothes. That is insane. There you go. Convention of Berlin has entered into force, and that is 100,008 that we're making from Russia. We're paying 90,000 to buy those goods, so we're making like 20,000 profit off of that trade, which is pretty good. Right now we're also close to 2 million national revenue, and it's growing up super fast too. 31 infamy. I guess we could stay below the 50 line, so maybe we can do a couple more small wars maybe in South America. Oh my god, stop! How am I getting more freaking money, bro? Stop it! Holy schnitzel, man. This is insane. I don't have population to keep growing now. I feel like I should maybe just steal a state from someone like Ming. Maybe I should just, I'm not gonna do it, okay? I'm not gonna go and take Chinese lands just because of the population. I would never do that thing, okay? I'm not like that. All right, boys, we managed to get up to 19.3 standard of living, back up to 19.3. We dropped there for a little bit, but Belgium is ahead of us. Oh, the betrayal, the actual betrayal. At least technologically speaking, we are by far ahead of everybody else. And right now we queued up some things that will help us massively, namely the Zeppelins, the elevators, and even multilateral alliances, which means we're going to get more than one ally as consequence. Now our infamy is also pretty darn low, so it's time for us to spread some more love around the world. I'm so curious to see who's right after me in GDP. It is Great Britain and the British Raj still. 150 mil, Qing is 108, Russia is 86, 78 for US. You know what I think? I think after the release patch, they kind of nerfed the AI of the nations a little bit. Genuinely convinced they did, because I've seen the AI do a lot better prior to this release patch. Okay, the Ottomans want to renew because we already have this. They just want to renew and want to give me more money for investment rights. Yeah, sure, whatever. Does that mean we have to again, yes we do, give some monopoly rights for our company? Maybe this time we can go for the arms industry for Krupp. Offer them an embassy as well, and they actually will accept just for that. That is genuinely crazy. We got half of their economy just for a freaking embassy, bro. That has to be nerfed. Our biggest issue, as you would imagine, is population now. We have 70 million pops. We've been growing like crazy actually, but it's not enough. We literally have no pops right now, so I'm gonna queue up right here a few electrical production methods. We got the telephones done. We're gonna do combustion engine, electrical capacitors, steam turbine, and everything else here, just so we can make the most out of the pops that we already have, and also try and get some more pops into our country. And it also decrease a little bit of autonomy. We've got way too freaking many subjects already. I kind of forgot who is my subject at this point. Also, I just realized Norway is not a union member of Sweden anymore. I'm curious as to why. Did they become a parliament? No, they're still a monarchy. I don't know why. Both of them have no relations. What happened here? You know what? Don't answer that, because I don't care. 32 with 4 is 46. We can get a puppet in Sweden and one in Norway. 15, 30. Perfect. We got all of North Europe then. Actually, this is also good because Sweden has European pops. Not many, only 4 million, but 420 mil. Okay, 420 special amount of pops. They're all very, very cool people. And also, I need more construction sectors. I know, I'm aware. Let's see where we got more pops here. We got some in Ostperson, so let's get a little bit in Ostperson. We really are just completely starved of pops right now. That is genuinely is concerning. And yes, we got up to 2 million national revenue from very low taxation, which speaks a lot about our current economic situation. I'm trying to see if I get any other production methods that would free up some pops. Maybe railway transport, but for some of these, not necessarily the smartest of ideas, because it's these provinces don't necessarily have that many railways, do they now? Up to 61 million in reserves as well, by the way. Speaking of crushing, I feel like I need to research a little bit more my military stuff. I haven't even started going towards trench works. I could get it in 20 months if I really needed it, right? I also would love to switch over to telephone switchboards, but we are 7 months away from being able to do that. Once we do it, however, holy schnitzel, we're gonna get 14,000. A great victory for the forces of good. We have won against the British Empire, and we managed to snipe from them German South Africa, as I like to call it. Now, take note, we also managed to get up to a 20.2 standard of living. GDP-wise, we're up to 425 million, and population, we are still fourth, unfortunately. We also have Sweden and Norway as our protectorates, and I'm gonna eye up a few more areas around Europe that I think do deserve a little bit more independence and freedom, of course. Now, financially, it's crazy. On very high taxes, we're up to 5 million already, and it's freaking 1889. I think I'm also just gonna cancel my consumption taxes. Like, it's crazy to say this, but I don't need the money, man, which is wild. It really is wild. Let's also bring it up to medium with the military wages, and assets were also capped up at 108 million. So I don't know what to do, man. I don't have any more population to freaking build any more construction sectors. I genuinely don't even know what the freaking schnitzel to do anymore. I'm gonna max out the ones that I got right now, and I also should probably switch over some of my production methods. So for example, here we're gonna go telephone switchboards, same in all the provinces where we have massive taxation issues, because if we fix those taxation issues, we get even more money. We also are going to be building up some power plants. So the reason I'm building the power plants is because I need the population. The only way I can save my economy and continue to grow is to just spam power plants and then use the power plants as a means of getting more population, right? So we're going to switch to production methods that require electricity. And yes, we had a massive war against the British. They even managed to land up into Germany. It was pretty close actually, but yeah, it was necessary. We needed to get South Africa for strategic having reasons. And speaking of having reasons, let me see how close am I to lowering these guys' autonomy. There we go. You can do that. Beautiful. I would like to see the whole world with my color if possible. There you go. First in standard of living, you scumbags in Belgium. How dare you think you could have been before us? Now guys, I'll be honest, we're not even in 1900 and it's already going really good. I mean, super fun. Now I'm thinking, what do you guys want to see from the late game of Victoria 3 with the current patch? Like, genuine question, what exactly do you want me to focus in that particular part, right? Let me know in the comment section, like, what exactly for the third and final part of this campaign, what exactly would you like me to focus on? What would you like me to explain more in detail? What would you like me to do? Because I know there's a lot of things that have changed and I don't even know what to focus on, to be honest. Oh, do you guys want to see something really cool? Check it out. If we were to increase our tariffs on steel alone, we'd get an extra 54,000, or if we go for sugar, we get an extra 95,000. The reality is I don't need this. Like, I genuinely do not need this, right? Because I have so much money, it's literally flowing out of my ass. I don't know what to do with it. So what I'm gonna do is something sneakier. I'm just gonna flood the market with every single one of my goods, go for 50% subventions. I can handle it, and by doing that, I basically undercut every single nation just for the memes. Literally just for the memes. Why not? We're able to. Also gonna go for women's suffrage so I can get the workforce ratio. It does mean we lose 5% birth rate, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie. So let's just see what happens. We really do need more people in the workforce though. And let's also go for level 5 home affairs. I genuinely forgot to do that. And we have 3.2 thousand extra bureaucracy, which is huge, which also means that we get some extra construction efficiency bonus. You know what else I forgot to build? My power block statue. This would have come in handy actually. I completely forgot about this one. Oh, also I forgot to mention automobiles are a separate industry with this patch. So that means we're gonna get insanely, and I mean insanely rich from just building automobile factories. I'm gonna get 50 in Hanover, another 30 in Westphalia, and so on. Automobiles are genuinely the most overpowered trade good in Victoria 3. In the late game, getting these particular buildings is an absolute must. And not only do they build automobiles, you also can go for aeroplane production and tank production. So this particular building is the best right now, by far the best. There you go. We got a little bit more rubber. That's perfect because we're gonna need a frack ton of rubber in the production of these automobiles. Thank Schnitzeldorf, we have so many subjects and most of them have the ability to get rubber in. I love how South Africa is German and the leader of South Africa somehow is Portuguese Protestant. What happened here, man? This is the weirdest thing ever. Like, this by far, this nation is the weirdest one ever. Oh, we're back up to 0 infamy. Okay, I'll take it. Let's see who is not yet a puppet in here. Benin seems to not be a puppet, so they kind of definitely want to be a puppet for just 3.4 infamy. We got 500 million GDP and 6 million income by 1892, which is ridiculous. If you want to see the final part where we take it to 1936 and try and puppet as much of the world with the use of tariffs, subventions, and more monopolies, leave a like. If we get 3,000 likes, we'll do the final part. And don't forget to also subscribe. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one.